The latest jobless numbers have been released, and they're the worst in 3 years. Some analysts fear that the jobs market is about, in fact, to get much worse. And to give us an idea of what we can expect, we're joined now by Geoff Bagg. He is the CEO of the staffing agency, the Bagg Group. Sir, what do you make of, first off, what's your take on where this economy is going and how much this kind of a service and this kind of knowledge is going to be important in the short term?
In the short term, it's clear that Canada isn't immune from what's going on with the volatility worldwide. And I think this has been a wake-up call for a lot of people to see that our numbers can go down. In September, they were hugely up. And I think October came as a shock to just about everybody.
You think a shock? Some people saw it coming. They said we've been roughly flat almost all summer and spring. It's been up a little, down a little. And once the stimulus money ran out, we're starting to see exactly what we might have expected once that government stimulus was no longer there.
If you look at the trend over last October, we're still up 226,000 jobs, which is quite substantial. But you're right, seeing the numbers go down, I think has been a caution for just about everybody.
The sectors that are losing jobs, what are they going to be?
So the sectors losing jobs, there's actually even subsectors. So manufacturing is clearly a sector that's losing jobs in Ontario, but even certain parts of the financial sector are gaining jobs in certain parts. For instance, insurance companies may be losing jobs while banks may be gaining.
And construction, is it also off?
Construction is off, and I think the numbers that you see from StatsCan only tell part of the story, because with residential construction, people can adjust very quickly. But with commercial construction, so all those cranes you see on our skyline, those aren't going to change overnight. Those are long-term projects that even with some bad numbers out there, they're still going ahead.
And what about the sectors that are, things look good, will gain jobs?
So one area that's definitely taking off is the whole IT sector. And you can see some of the offshoring that took place before. A lot of projects are coming back to Canada. Canada has a really good IT workforce, and we know of some clients that are bringing all of their projects back into the country. We see a lot of hiring on the technology side of things. Another area that's really growing is the whole automotive sector. There was recently a study out of the States with KPMG. 61% of executives in the auto sector are projecting a big increase in hiring. 71% are saying also an increase in capital expenditures, which is going to bode well for the economy as a whole.
In the Canadian economy right now, we have more people out of work than we would like. We also have an awful lot of people who are working who are underemployed. If the situation gets worse, the job market gets even tighter. Do you have advice for those who are looking for work or trying to break into fields where they feel they're qualified but haven't been able to get in?
It can be tough. There is a huge paradox between all the people looking for work and companies struggling to find good employees. And I think what would be helpful for the viewers to understand is that hiring managers tend to be very risk adverse right now. And so they're not going to take a risk on somebody. They're going to leave the position open rather than taking a risk. And so what people need to do is really go and prove themselves when they're asked questions. It's not enough to say that I'm a team player, but they need to really demonstrate and prove to the hiring manager that they can be a team player. And one way they can do that is by looking at the situation. So when they're asked a question, give a situation, give the initiative that they took and the results. So think of that as S.I.R, S-I-R. And that will give the proof to the hiring manager that you can actually do something and really set yourself apart.
All right. Geoff Bagg is the CEO of the staffing agency, the Bagg Group. Thanks very much, sir, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Coming up in the program, speaking out about steroids in hockey, former